So here we are in the WIPO, the World Intellectual Property Organization, in Geneva. It's a UN agency that is specialized in the intellectual property. I'm Gianni Leone de Magistris, and I'm heading the audiovisual support unit. It's a team of 8 people. We are operating all the audiovisual systems. So today we're talking about conference rooms, but we're also operating a broadcast TV studio. So WIPO is hosting conferences around the big topics that are being addressed by WIPO, and we're talking about 100 to 120 days, 150 days of conferences a year. Basically bringing together the member states' representative, and they make decisions on the evolution of the IP laws, which will then be applied in the different countries. For this decision to happen, clearly there must be also some discussions. And in addition to large conference rooms like this one, we also have some smaller rooms where groups would meet to negotiate, to discuss, to come with the specific text before they get presented in the plenary sessions for final approval. The specificity of the UN agency is that all the discussions are being interpreted towards and from 6 languages: French, English, Spanish, Chinese, Arabic, and Russian. Therefore, for conference rooms, we need to be able to address that. To be able to address that, we're running an interpretation system, and WIPO has chosen Televic Plixus. On top of the Televic Plixus, which is the base of the audio conference system, the orchestration is being performed by AMX. So the AMX was a proposal from the integrator, because initially we were here rather a Crestron shop. During the evaluation process, Projection Nouvelle proposed to move to AMX. And basically the capacity of the product was seduced us, and we thought, okay, let's move to this. Okay, so it was not, let's say, a real intrinsic decision because maybe we were not happy of Crestron. It was simply an opportunity at this point, which appeared later on to be a good choice. So the AMX clearly deals with the transport. So now we moved. That was part of the challenges, was to go to IP transport using the AMX approach, but also the orchestration. So the AMX is also controlling all the equipment, sending the commands, getting the feedback, the statuses, and we control all the equipment from the classic approach now, which is a touch panel, different pages which we are customized to our needs and to our operations. The move from Crestron to AMX was quite seamless because somehow AMX is what the integrator designs, and the way they propose the features on the tactile, on the touch panel. So I would say at this point it was an occasion for us to clearly redesign the interface that was existing in that room since 2014, but it was clearly a way for us to bring in new functionalities that were maybe not there present in the way Crestron was programmed in the past. So that is the aspect. But I would say in these type of product, clearly the potential is being exploited by the integrator and its capacity to properly program and properly design the pages and make things very ergonomic. We had a few rooms already migrated to Plixus, but at some point we had the very large 2 rooms left, and that was really the trigger of the project. For some other rooms, although the Televic was already upgraded, it had also to be readdressed, because clearly one of the elements of the project was to enable the interconnection of the rooms, bringing them together in a common network, secured by VLANs clearly, but this in order to allow coupling rooms. So not active coupling with the capacity to bring in more delegates, so seats from different rooms, but also coupling for interpretation. With the Plexus version of Televic, clearly the nice thing is that Dante is built in, managed. Before it was there, but we were to use breakout boxes, so adding in lots of interface. Here it's natively present. We were prior to this Dante, and here that was obvious that it would ease especially the coupling, and of course the integration with other elements of the audiovisual, like let's say wireless microphones or sound transport in other areas of the building. From the source aspect, we stick to SDI, okay, from camera. The routing is done and the transport to the different systems is done via AMX. The oversight of everything is done via AMX. The interpretation is done through Televic. And in some rooms, in terms of camera switching, or let's say video source switching, we're using broadcast video mixers like TriCaster or Panasonic. Also, it's part of our BCP to be able to couple rooms, to keep, let's say, interpreters separated in different booths, to keep distance, social distance from delegates, by increasing the capacity, by bringing in extra seats from extra rooms. And that was something that came really because of the last situations, and we really need to integrate this at the very last minute, like a key point into the terms of reference. Actually, this large room is actually not only a conference room, although that's the main purpose, and we're running lots of plenary sessions here, but actually we host different type of events. We also do some talk shows type Davos style, panel discussions, and we reorganize the stage there, removing the desks from the podium and turn this into a real cultural event stage. We have integrated a TriCaster TC2 mixer that is fed by the 12 cameras, but also all the ingest capacity there. This brings us to a real TV broadcast approach in terms of when we want to run those multicam programs live. This room was actually already, when delivered in 2014, quite advanced, and a few other UN agencies inspired themselves from what was done here. In terms of functionalities, basically we kept them, we went further, more detailed, more precise, or things that were a bit installed very easily. Here we formalize them, everything in racks, into the workflows, or AMX taking the control of it. So in terms of technology, yeah, most likely we're ready for a while. We decided to integrate the interpretation system, but also the rest of the electronics here. So we've got this console, that was built on purpose, designed, and fully integrated in the desk. The position here of the buttons were also thoroughly discussed and designed. We had, I think, 14 versions before the final one, in terms of ergonomics, where to position the buttons, where to position the microphone. You've got the capacity for a badge reader here for identification, and also here we added this little mustache, you can see, to prevent the button to be pressed by somebody putting the phone or pushing the laptop. And Televic was capable of recreating, you see, the same finishing as we had before. So this was 2014 and this was 2022. We discussed about the cameras that were already here. The sound system was already here, the PA, based on Meyer sound. We also did not change the layout of the room. So position, desks, everything is where it was initially. So they had simply to stick with that. The Panasonic projection was already there. Clearly, they had to take control of the lift to be able to bring down the projectors for the maintenance, and also these screens are motorized and they fold up and disappear in the ceiling. They had to take over the control by replacing the different elements for the control and the transport. All this control is clearly handled by AMX, correct. We added here an extra camera and a infrared radiator to increase our capacity in terms of filming, because the idea is that we have introduced the overview, beauty shot camera, dedicated camera, and the infrared radiator allows us to provide wireless earpiece for interpretation when we hold Davos-style discussions, because clearly no more desks, no more television console. We need to bring an alternative for the speakers, for the panelists. For the main screen projection, we've got over there two projectors. So we've got a principal 20K lumen projector, Panasonic, and we've got a backup 12K just aside. And those two are hidden in the ceiling, and it opens up and the lift brings them down, also for maintenance. But here at this point, we really, since these appliances are very big, the idea was to have them totally disappearing into the ceiling. And you can see there, we've got this ramp of stage light projector being controlled by DMX with a light console up there. That allows us build stage light. We also have 3 motorized projector profiles that allows us also to create specific stage light design with the blades, with gobos, and all the fancy things to customize and properly lit the stage.
So we now find ourselves in a more traditional, older style of conference room. I think the first thing that really grabs you about this space is the sheer grandeur of it. Could you tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, this is the room A, which was built at the same time of the tower, so in the 70s. This room is actually listed, so in terms of decoration, we're quite limited in terms of how we can evolve, but many elements here are gifts, like the tiles are glass from Murano, 9 tons, 5,000, more than 5,000 tiles. We had also here to align the technology with the rest of the room. So again, Televic was upgraded to Plexus, AMX deployed. We find the same type of pattern in terms of technologies and the way they are configured. And of course, this room can interoperate with a large conference hall, with a WIPO conference hall, and in terms of coupling or overflow. Here we equip with 5 cameras that also following the active speaker who opens the microphone. We are able to run 6 interpretation channels. It was actually the first room we migrated, and we ran into a few discoveries, especially in terms of cabling, because there's very little path in terms of cabling capacity, and we discovered the legacy cables that were here added in terms of layers. So we had to pull everything out and re-cable, and this was about a real surprise. Because here we're entering some areas of the building where we have only the historical maps, which are not digitalized, and in some cases not everything could be documented. So there were lots of discoveries. And also another aspect is when you're changing a room like this, on one side you're stuck by the fact that got lots of constraints in terms of legacy decoration architecture, and on the other side you need to comply with all the new rules, fire, electricity, and it's a real challenge to manage to bring in the new technology and the new regulations, constraints into a very tight and constrained building. For instance, here we decided to use consoles instead of built-in appliances, because this helps us make sure that we are not touching the legacy furniture with a minimal intrusion into the desks. these, of course, they are ISO standard in terms of the technical specification of the building infrastructure. We decided to go for 3 positions for interpreters because we do have languages like Arabic and Chinese where we have 3 interpreters seated. So the interpreters can see the program on these monitors, but they also have a selector and they could see other sources like typically the slides, the content, should they want. So they have this capacity, separate capacity for each monitor. And they can, of course, dim the light and create their own ambience here to a working environment. Basically, as part of the refit, all the racks were changed and the equipment reinstalled, and of course the new equipment brought in. We introduced the video mixer here, TriCaster TC2 Elite from NewTek. And clearly over there we can see the touch panel control from AMX that is driving all the equipment. This control room is organized this way. Basically here we've got a position which is a preparation position or a control position. All the equipment, all the appliances are accessible via KVM console. So you can see we could go to all PCs or different appliances to just control it. So for instance, let's say I go to this operational machine now, and this console will become this. So it's really a KVM concept. Preparation machine. Here is a Televic. I was mentioning here, so the sitting plan, and basically that's where we open and close microphone on the order of the chair. That's where we see all the floor requests, and if somebody takes the request for the floor, we will see visually here where the person is sitting. We can remote control each camera from this Panasonic remote control, and there we will do the switching. So clearly, in most cases, we're using automatic mode, where basically opening a microphone will drive the appropriate camera and will do the switch as a cut. But we can always gain back the control, or by fine-tuning camera position, or by manually doing the switch by turning into the AMX into a semi-automated mode. And of course, from the TriCaster, then we have access to all the usual effects, multi-layer and compositing, multi-box, PIP, and so forth, subtitling, lower thirds. Clearly here we see all the cameras and the different computer sources down there, preview program, and special MEs where we do prepare the effects. And the nice thing with the TriCaster also that it's a video playback machine. You've got 4 DDRs, 4 players, that can be directly driven from the console. By simply cutting to the DDR, it runs the playback, and when you get away, it stops the playback. So that's also a nice automation. So, and if we move to this side of the control room, here we've got positions which are playback positions to play slides, carton, lower thirds, video playback, should we want to play this from a specific machines different from the TriCaster. Audio control through a QL1 for wireless microphone, handheld, Madonna, and so forth, especially when we've got stage events or Davos style, where we would simply equip people with a wireless microphone. And from this console here, we control the stage light in DMX. So it's a very simple ETC color source AV 40 channels, which allows us, which is good enough to control the Fresnel and also the profile motorized projectors. In conference mode, basically one person can hold everything, and in an event mode, well, we would get one operator per working position, and usually we do have also a runner in the room, and we're all connected with an intercom that allows us to discuss with the different technicians. Here we're rather in the control, all the different computers for the Zoom interpretation, interoperability, other machines for controlling operations, wireless microphone, receivers from Shure, Extron, UVC injection for Zoom webcam. Here we're talking about the DSPs from Meyer Sound to address the the PA, a Rio for entry and out, and down here we've got 3 induction loops that are covering the entire room for hearing impaired.
So tell me a bit about this room in particular, because this is a great example of some of the smaller meeting spaces that are available here at WIPO. Could you tell me a bit about the technology that you've deployed in these spaces?
Yeah, so this is typically a small room that is used during breakout session groups that walk out of the plenary session. They need to discuss, negotiate, come together around the text. And in this room again, we've got interpretation for each position. Again, Televic here with some desk consoles. There is also the capacity to film each speaker. Again, camera are being slaved by the Televic, and then this gets projected on the screen. The idea here is that the screen not only allows to see the slides, but who speaks, especially if there are some remote participants.
And the AMX system plays a key role in this space as well, doesn't it, in terms of the ability to offer coupling? Can you explain a bit more about that?
Yeah, this room actually is also, of course, controlled by AMX, and therefore we will have the capacity. We have the capacity to couple it with other rooms, and especially the one which is next door, the blue room that we will see in a second. The other room is identical, and therefore here we could use the 3 booths of the blue room, bring them back with the already existing 3 booths in the red room, and raise up to 6 audio interpreted channels. This would also allow us to do active coupling, so this means that we could have delegates here, delegates sitting there, and if they were to take the floor, since the camera is shooting them, they would be seen not only heard but also seen on the screen of the other room. So this is the blue room, which is identical to the red room. It's symmetric. They're just next door, and from here we can receive or send the discussions to the other room by the coupling.
And there you have it. Projection Nouvelle delivered an exceptional standardized project here for WIPO. If you are interested in producing a video case study with Inavate, please feel free to get in touch at inavate@imlgroup.co.uk to see your project on the big screen.